To delve into this story, let's bring in Wassim Nasr, our expert in jihadist movements. Wassim, good to have you with us as always.
Thank you.
A palpable rise in attacks in this area.
Yes, we are seeing over the weeks more and more attacks in Beni and Ituri. But what is very remarkable with those attacks, it's that when they went into the town of Beni. So they bombed the church. They have a suicide bomber who bombed an alcohol shop. Another attack also in Beni, and we have a map to see where it happened exactly inside the town. And we even know that they killed two imams, one of them in the town of Beni on the 1st of May, another one in the suburbs of Beni. And this shows us that they are really on the path of the ideology of the Islamic State, meaning killing opponents and targeting Christians, and not only targeting Christians, but putting it up front in their propaganda, because the ADF already targeted Christians since 2014, and this is why they were labeled as a terror group at the time. So, but here we are seeing a real application, if I may say so, of Islamic State politics.
It's so interesting that you said that, so that going on the path of sharing the ideologies of the Islamic State group, what actual links do they have beyond that?
Well, we have to imagine that links aren't really material. They are not getting weapons. They got a little bit of money from the Islamic State. But the most important link is the ideological link that they have with the Islamic State and the communication link. And here we see one of the latest attacks in a village in Ituri. We have a few images. And what's interesting in this is because we know that the propaganda of the Islamic State made many mistakes while claiming Operations Africa, because they didn't have the right name of the town, they didn't have the right location, they exaggerated sometimes the casualties, or even they got the casualties wrong. For example, in the latest attack against the United Nations forces, they claimed that they killed some African soldiers from many countries, while it was soldiers from Malawi who were the unit active in this United Nations contingent. And from this latest attack in Ituri, they were faster than local outlets in giving the right location, the right place, and saying exactly what happened. And this is very interesting. And we have a map that we can see, because those towns aren't really on the map, actually. And here we got to see them. So we are talking about two villages, Mayala and Manzombe, on the road N4, and the attack happened in the middle. And the Islamic State gave the right location. And if you look for those villages on Google Maps, you cannot find them. So it means that more than the images, they had the right location and they had the right outcome of their attack. And we know that in the latest speech of the Islamic State spokes, he talked about Africa, and he talked about Central Africa province, we are talking here about it, and about the Western Africa province, meaning Lake Chad. So they are giving emphasis on it. And we have a picture that shows us also the head of the ADF, who vowed allegiance to the Islamic State. And we have a picture of him, the latest picture of him. I don't know if they were...
I believe we don't have the picture, Wassim.
If they did it on purpose or not, but actually we see him. We see him, and we haven't seen him in a while, and we see him in this propaganda outlet of the Islamic State.
So from what you're saying, they're spreading their tentacles, they're becoming more visible given that this picture was published. Is there a solution?
Well, actually, we saw that Minister Blinken, when he talked about the coalition against the Islamic State, he included Africa for the first time. And he said that many African countries will be more and more involved. And we have footage of the Islamic State in the Democratic Republic of Congo that was issued a few months ago. And we know, for example, that the United States put them last March on the list of terror organizations as linked to the Islamic State. The Canadians did it at the beginning of this month. And we know also that African countries are trying to work out things together to confront the jihadis there. We know that, for example, the authorities in Congo issued a statement and said that this is a military zone, it will be on lockdown, and they will fight the jihadis there, but it didn't work out for them, because we know when any region become military, we know that there will be human rights abuses, which happened. 32 civilians killed by government forces, and didn't prevent jihadis from killing civilians on their side too. We had a massacre where 50 civilians were also killed. The United Nations said that it will create a fast response force made from Kenyan, Nepalian, and Southern African and Tanzanian forces, but it's not operational yet. it should be by the end of August. But anyways, what was the measures that were taken and what is being implemented now isn't enough, obviously, because the Islamic State, from fighting on the border region, from fighting in the forest, in Beni and the Ituri, attacking villages, now they're attacking inside Beni, inside the town of Beni. And this is new, with suicide bombs and targeting a church for the first time in the town of Beni. So we're seeing the implementation of the politics of the Islamic State with better means and a better strategy that fits the jihadi ideology.
Alarming developments there. Thank you so much for that.